What if everything you learned about money in school is completely wrong? What if getting good grades, finding a safe job, and saving money in the bank is actually the exact formula for staying poor? Welcome back to BookFluency. Here, we help you master your English listening skills while learning the most powerful ideas from the world's greatest books. Today, we are exploring a book that has changed millions of lives around the world. We are diving into Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Get ready to change the way you think about money. Let's begin. The story of two dads. Robert Kiyosaki had two fathers. His biological father was highly educated. He had a PhD, and he worked hard at a safe government job. But he always struggled with money. Robert calls him his poor dad. His other father was actually his best friend's dad. This man never finished the 8th grade, but he was an entrepreneur, an investor, and he eventually became one of the richest men in Hawaii. Robert calls him his rich dad. Growing up, Robert listened to both men. His poor dad would say, "The love of money is the root of all evil." But his rich dad would say, "The lack of money is the root of all evil." His poor dad told him to study hard to find a good company to work for, but his rich dad told him to study hard to find a good company to buy. Robert decided to follow the advice of his rich dad. Lesson 1. The rich do not work for money. Most people spend their entire lives trapped in something called the rat race. They wake up, go to work, pay bills, and repeat the cycle until they die. Why? Because they are controlled by two emotions, fear and greed. First, the fear of not having money makes them work hard at a job. Then, when they get their paycheck, greed makes them think about all the wonderful things they can buy. So, they spend all their money, and then they have to go back to work again. Rich Dad taught Robert a different way. The rich do not work for money. Instead, they make money work for them. While poor and middle-class people work for a steady paycheck, rich people work to acquire assets that will produce income for them, even when they are sleeping. Lesson 2. Understand assets and liabilities. If you want to be rich, this is the most important rule you will ever learn. You must know the difference between an asset and a liability, and you must only buy assets. It sounds simple, but most people do not understand it. Rich Dad gave Robert a very easy definition. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. That is it. A house is a perfect example. Most people believe their house is their biggest asset. But if you have to pay a mortgage, pay property taxes, and pay for repairs every month, your house is taking money out of your pocket. Therefore, it is a liability. But if you buy a house and rent it out to someone else, and it brings you positive cash flow every month, then it is an asset. The rich focus entirely on building their asset column. Lesson 3. Mind your own business. Many people confuse their profession with their business. If you ask someone, "What is your business?" they might say, "I am a banker." But they do not own the bank. They just work there. Their profession is banking, but they do not have a business. To become financially free, you must mind your own business. This means you can keep your daytime job, but you must start buying real assets on the side. What kind of assets? Real estate that produces income, stocks, bonds, intellectual property, or a business that does not require your daily presence. Do not spend all your money on expensive clothes, new cars, or a bigger television. These are liabilities. Keep your expenses low. Get out of debt, and start building a strong foundation of assets. Your assets are your employees. They work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they never ask for a day off. Lesson 4. The history of taxes and corporations. When taxes were first created, they were only meant to punish the rich. The middle class and the poor voted for taxes because they thought the rich would pay for everything. But the rich are smart. They found a legal way to protect their money. The rich use corporations. Now, a corporation is not necessarily a big building with hundreds of employees. A corporation is simply a legal document sitting in an attorney's office. Here is the difference. A normal employee earns money, pays taxes on that money, and then lives on whatever is left. But a corporation earns money, spends everything it possibly can as a business expense, and then pays taxes only on what is left. This is one of the biggest legal secrets of the wealthy. They understand the tax laws and use them to their advantage. Lesson 5. The rich invent money. We all have amazing potential inside us, but self-doubt and fear often hold us back. In the real world, it is not always the smart people who get ahead, but the bold people. Financial intelligence is simply having more options. If an opportunity does not come your way, what else can you do to improve your financial position? The poor and middle-class people only know one way to make money: work harder. But the rich know that money is not real. It is an illusion. Great opportunities are not seen with your eyes. They are seen with your mind. The rich invent money by finding deals that other people miss. They bring together people, money, and ideas to create something valuable. You must train your brain to recognize financial opportunities. Lesson 6. Work to learn, do not work for money. Robert Kiyosaki once met a talented young writer. She wanted to be a best-selling author, but she could not sell her books. Robert told her to take a course in sales and marketing. The writer was deeply offended. She had a master's degree in English literature, and she thought learning how to sell was beneath her. Robert pointed out that he is a best-selling author, not a best-writing author. There is a huge difference. Most people only need to learn one more skill to dramatically increase their income. Do not just look for jobs that offer the highest salary or the most security. Look for jobs that will teach you valuable skills. Learn about sales, marketing, communication, and leadership. These are the skills that will make you truly rich. Financial freedom is not about how much money you make. It is about how much money you keep and how hard that money works for you. Start minding your own business. Stop buying liabilities and start buying assets. Change your mindset from poor dad to rich dad and watch your life transform. Thank you for practicing your English listening with BookFluency today. We hope you learned some valuable lessons about money and wealth. If you enjoyed this summary, please like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing books. See you in the next video. And remember, make your money work for you.